Sometimes the biggest changes, the most massive shifts, they happen almost silently. There's this huge industry powering up right now behind the scenes of basically everything you do online.
Absolutely. It's not flashy, not like the next big app, but it's fundamental.
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive into that very thing, the global privacy management software market. We're talking about the actual tools the systems companies use to, well, handle your personal data the right way, making sure things like your shopping history or, even health info are managed
You've
carefully.
done all the way, yeah.
Our mission today is really to unpack the, honestly, staggering growth we're seeing in this sector. We've got a market report here, and we want to show you just how fast this is blowing up worldwide, and crucially, what that means for all of us.
And what's so fascinating, I think, is that it's not just big numbers for the sake of big numbers.
Right.
It reflects this really fundamental shift in how businesses are thinking about data. It's being pushed by, well, obviously data security worries, but also this wave of privacy rules popping up everywhere.
GDPR, CCPA, all those acronyms.
Exactly. And it's becoming about more than just ticking a compliance box. It's really about trust. Can you trust a company with your digital life?
That's the core of it. And the scale, just to give you a little preview, the scale of the shift is, well, it's huge. We're looking at a market going from about $1 billion just a few years ago to potentially tens of billions inside a decade, like a 30-fold increase. It really sets the scene for what's happening region by region.
It's quite something.
Okay, so let's paint that global picture first. The headline figures are genuinely pretty remarkable. Back in 2021, the whole market, just over $1.2 billion.
Okay, 1.2 billion.
Now, fast forward just to 2025, that's practically tomorrow. It's expected to nearly triple. We're talking almost 3.8 billion.
Wow, tripling in 4 years.
But here's the real kicker. Look out to 2033. The projection is an explosion to around $37 billion.
37 billion? That's enormous.
It is. We're looking at a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR of 33%. Just think about that. Like an investment growing by a third every single year, compounding.
Yeah, that's incredibly fast growth. Sustained growth, too.
Exactly. The report calls it one of the fastest growing technology markets globally. It's like watching a rocket take off, but it's for data privacy software.
And like you said before, this kind of explosive, sustained growth, it isn't just, happening by chance. It's not a fad.
No.
Connecting it to the bigger picture, it really shows that businesses all over the world are now seeing privacy management as, like, a core part of how they operate.
Not just an IT thing anymore.
Exactly. Not just an IT afterthought or some legal hassle they have to deal with. The urgency is there because, well, you've got cyber threats getting smarter, making breaches incredibly expensive.
Reputationally, too.
Hugely. Then you've got us, consumers, becoming more aware, demanding better handling of our data. And then layered on top is this patchwork of regulations, GDPR in Europe, CCP in California, others emerging.
With real teeth, financially.
With real teeth, yeah. Significant penalties. So companies are realizing, hey, the cost of not doing this, of not investing in proper privacy tools, it actually outweighs the cost of the software itself. It protects their reputation, their bottom line, and fundamentally, their relationship with customers.
So, drilling down, what does this actually mean for you listening? Well, it means every time you use an app or shop online or just browse around, there's a much, much better chance now that sophisticated software is working behind the scenes. It's not just about stopping a breach, hopefully. It's also making sure your consent is handled right, your data is used ethically.
And maybe even giving you more levers to pull, more control over your own information.
Exactly. It's this sort of quiet revolution happening that's making our digital lives safer, often without us even noticing it day to day.
All right, let's dig into where this growth is really concentrated. Which regions are leading?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's zoom in. Regional powerhouses. North America, probably not a huge surprise, is a dominant force here. Back in 2021, the market was already worth nearly $487 million. It's a solid base.
A very solid base. By 2033, that's projected to climb past $14 billion. That's growing on average about 32% every year.
Still incredibly strong growth, over 32% CAGR.
Within North America, the U.S. is naturally the biggest slice. It's forecast to go from around $339 million in 2021 up to over $9.3 billion by 2033.
Wow.
Canada's also really significant, should grow from about $113 million to over $3.4 billion in that same time frame. But here's something interesting. Mexico.
Okay.
It's actually showing even faster expansion on a percentage basis. Projected to go from $35 million in 2021 up to nearly $1.25 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR of almost 35%.
Nearly 35%. That's impressive. Shows real acceleration in adopting these tools south of the border.
Definitely.
Okay, now let's hop across the pond to Europe. We see another really substantial market there with its own pretty compelling growth story. In 2021, the European market was valued at nearly $339 million.
Okay. A bit smaller than North America to start.
A bit smaller, yeah. But look, the projection for 2033, nearly $10 billion. That's still showing a very robust growth rate, around 32.5% annually.
Also very strong.
In this expansion, you can really trace it back to Europe's proactive stance on data privacy. I mean, GDPR wasn't just a suggestion.
No, definitely not.
It legally mandated certain practices. It forced businesses to get serious about managing consent, handling data requests, notifying about breaches, all of that. It created this huge need for effective software solutions.
So regulation was a massive driver there.
Absolutely. You look at key countries like, say, the UK and Germany. Both are expected to grow from roughly $60–70 million back in 2021 to over $2 billion each by 2033. It just clearly shows how those stricter rules really cemented the need for robust privacy tools across the continent. Compliance became a major market engine.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Because while North America and Europe are huge, the Asia-Pacific region, well, it's showing the highest regional growth rate globally. It's the real engine right now.
The highest CGR.
Okay.
Right.
In 2021, the APAC market was valued at around $230 million, smaller start than the others.
Right.
But by 2033, it's projected to hit a staggering $8.15 billion. And get this, the annual growth rate, almost 34.6%, the strongest regional CGR we're seeing.
34.6%. Okay, that is acceleration.
It really is. Let's pinpoint some key players there. China, for instance, is the largest single market in APAC. It's forecast to explode from about $87 million in 2021 to over $3.3 billion by 2033. That's a growth rate nudging 35.5% annually.
It's huge numbers.
But if you really want to talk about acceleration, look at India. It's one of the fastest growing markets for this software anywhere in the world.
India, okay.
It started from just under $25 million in 2021. The projection for 2033.
Yeah.
Over $1 billion, $1.86 billion to be specific. That's an annual growth rate CAGR of 36.8%.
Wow. Nearly 37% annual growth in India alone. That's phenomenal.
Truly phenomenal.
And this surge in Asia-Pacific, especially in places like India and China that are digitizing so rapidly, it points to a few things happening at once. Right. First, just the sheer volume of people coming online means an exponential jump in the amount of data being generated. That's obvious.
Sure.
Second, many of these economies are building out their digital infrastructure incredibly fast. And with that comes, a growing awareness, sometimes pushed by new local regulations around data privacy.
So they're building privacy and maybe earlier than some others did?
In some ways, yeah. It feels like they're not just playing catch-up. They might even be leapfrogging some older approaches, implementing privacy measures with a real sense of urgency. You've got this rapid digital maturing combined with new data laws. It just creates this perfect storm, fertile ground for these solutions to become essential almost overnight.
A testament to how quickly these new digital frontiers are tackling privacy challenges.
Exactly.
And it doesn't stop there, does it? This growth is truly global.
Let's quickly touch on the other continents, just to show this isn't only about a few hotspots, it's everywhere.
Yeah, the reach is impressive. Take South America, also seeing really substantial growth. Started around $66.5 million in 2021, projected to hit over $2.1 billion by 2033. That's keeping pace with a strong 33.3% annual growth.
Still over 33%.
Consistent. Very consistent. Brazil is a leader there, set to grow from about $30 million up to nearly $950 million. But also keep an eye on Colombia, showing particularly rapid growth, over 35% CAGR. Reflects a continent-wide move towards digital privacy.
Interesting about Colombia's pace.
Then you move over to the Middle East, another emerging market making really significant strides. Valued at nearly $50 million back in 2021.
Right.
and projected to expand to over $1.6 billion by 2033. That's growing at about 33.8% annually. Robust growth there, too.
Also strong.
Saudi Arabia is leading the charge in that region, forecast to grow from about $18.5 million in 2021 to an estimated $660 million by 2033. Again, a strong CAGR, nearly 35%.
Solid numbers across the board.
And finally, Africa. Now, it's starting from a smaller base, definitely, but the potential is immense. In 2021, the market registered just under $37.5 million. Projections show it reaching over $1.1 billion by 2033. That's driven by a healthy 32.5% annual growth rate.
Still maintaining that 30% plus growth.
Exactly. Key contributors there include countries like South Africa, which was over $14 million in 2021, and Nigeria, over $10 million that same year. It just paints this picture of these burgeoning digital economies across the continent really quickly adopting privacy solutions as they grow.
Yeah. And what's so clear when you look at all these numbers together, I mean, spanning every single continent and touching on all these diverse economies, is that this demand for privacy management software, it's not some regional quirk. It's absolutely universal, and it's accelerating everywhere. Every region we talked about.
North America, Europe, APAC.
South America, Middle East, Africa. Every single one is showing multi-billion-dollar markets emerging by 2033. This isn't just growth in a few spots. It's this synchronized worldwide shift towards taking data responsibility much more seriously.
A global phenomenon.
It really underscores that businesses globally, they now get it. They see privacy software as indispensable for their future, for building that crucial consumer trust. It's a fundamental change in how companies have to operate online.
So let's try and wrap this up. What's the big takeaway here? We started at just over $1.2 billion in 2021 for the entire global market.
Yeah, seems small now.
Right. And now we're looking at projections showing it rocketing towards an astonishing $37 billion by 2033.
A huge leap.
It's more than just numbers, isn't it? It signals this global rethink about data, about privacy, about trust in this whole digital world we live in. It feels like a collective effort almost to build a more secure, more transparent digital future where your data isn't just an afterthought anymore.
I think that's exactly right. The surging market, it just clearly highlights that rising demand. Demand for secure ways to manage data, for robust tools to meet compliance, and for this accelerating push towards environments that are truly privacy first.
Built with privacy in mind from the start.
Exactly. It shows that people like you and the regulations that are often responding to public pressure are increasingly prioritizing how personal data gets handled. We're moving, I think, from just passively accepting data collection
to actively demanding protection and control.
Precisely. And this isn't some temporary thing. It feels like a foundational change in how we interact with tech and how companies have to behave within that space. The businesses that really lean into this, that embrace it, they're likely the ones who will thrive and earn the deepest trust going forward.
So as this market keeps climbing, here's a thought to leave you with. How will this explosive growth in privacy software do more than just protect your data? How might it fundamentally reshape the services and the products you use every single day? Could privacy become, not just a feature bolted on at the end, but a core non-negotiable expectation for every single digital interaction you have? And what power might that shift ultimately give back to you, the individual, in our increasingly data-driven world?
Something to definitely ponder.
Something to think about.